Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sunup on 7. I hope that everybody enjoyed the conversation with representatives from the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation, in particular as we talk about the blue economy sector. So there was a lot of updates going on in situations where they're addressing the sargassum situation, lobster regulations, and of course what's happening down in Silky. If you missed anything there, you can go on YouTube and you can reach out to that conversation so you stay informed into what's happening. There's going to be a series of consultations. So if you're a fisher folk or somebody that benefits from this industry, stay tuned to the Fisheries Department for future updates. It's time for our second conversation. And before we get into that, I want to wish all our educators, all teachers, a happy Teachers Day. I know y'all were having a fun time yesterday at Old Belize. But right now, we're going to be talking with some educators. Let me introduce them. They're joining us via Zoom. We have Ms. Jacqueline Burns, Ms. Patricia Usher, Mr. Kevin Forrester, and Mr. Emil Pulido. Good morning, everybody. How are you
Good
feeling?
morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Happy Teachers Day. Y'all
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank you.
people.
Y'all have a big smile on your face. Y'all happy to getting celebrated, right?
Oh yeah.
Certainly.
Most definitely.
So I want to start off asking, I guess, Mr. Emil, can you tell us a little bit about just the understanding of the importance of teachers? I think we say it, we understand to a certain degree, but we don't really understand fully, I think, the importance of a teacher. I always try to compare the fact that teachers see students more than parents see their children most of the
Or
time.
there
'Cause
could be second parents.
yeah, they're like second parents because you go to school for majority of your life. So you basically see teachers the majority of your life too as well. And so just in that aspect, I say teachers are like another mother, another father for you. So could you tell us a little bit about what your idea of the importance of teachers are, especially when we're celebrating them right now?
There are so many ways of answering that, and we can go short, medium, or long in answering that. But
You can go with a medium short.
If- an analogy to go short, an analogy could be like we all eat, so we need farmers, no?
Yes.
But not to disrespect farmers, but we teachers are farmers of the mind. Marcus Aurelius said a long time ago, almost 2,000 years ago, the quality of your happiness depends upon the quality of your thoughts. We are mind farmers. We really hopefully can teach everyone how to live, including ourselves, because we are supposedly lifelong learners. So if I can leave that analogy or that anecdote in your mind and the quotation from Marcus Aurelius, the quality of your life depends upon the quality of thought. So we teach more than subjects. We teach, hopefully, how to live.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
very true.
Emil, for the analogy. I want to invite Ms. Teacher Jacqueline Burns if she has any addition to what you just mentioned.
For me, teaching is certainly molding of young minds. It's shaping our future for Belize, and I take that as a really serious job because people entrust their children in our care, and we are to make good of them in whatever way we can. So I'll have to agree with my colleague, Mr. Pulido, that our job is of utmost importance. And the analogy of farming minds, if you're a gardener, you have to provide care. You have to water the plant. You have to ensure that it's in the best kind of soil. You have to fertilize it where it's necessary for it to produce. And so that's what we want of our citizens. And when they're entrusted in us at a very young age, we're responsible for that growth.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes, and it's beautiful that,
Yeah.
that you see the responsibility and the value that you have and that is placed on you by parents on you as teachers. So I gotta commend for you to acknowledging that
It's
because
some heavy
I feel
pressure.
that's like important to have, realizing, oof, this is big. This
Because
is
teachers
major.
are counselors, they're parents, they're like motivational coaches, like they have to be disciplinarians, but with the whole corporal punishment kind of thing, I
Right.
understand that.
So I wanna in
Yeah,
that regard, I wanna
and-
ask
and
Ms.
that's what I
Patricia.
was-
Yes.
Yeah,
I-
and that's what I was going to say is that there's this famous quote that says, teachers make all other professions possible. And that is so true. But while we make those professions possible, we ourselves have to take on the roles of those different professions because, like you rightfully said, we have to be doctors, we have to be lawyers trying to figure out how this event actually happened. We need to teach them how to do the farming and all the different professions that are out there. So we make it possible for them to be different professions or to take on different career paths. But at the same time, we need to know a little bit of each of those different career paths to be able to guide them in the path that they so desire, you know? So it is a challenging job, but a very rewarding one. Teachers have to have a love for children. I love children, and that's why I went into this profession. I have 4 of my own. And my family tend to think I'm a little bit crazy because if I could have had more, if I could have afforded, I would keep going. So since I have to stop at 4, the best other option is to become a teacher where I could have 290 other children as my own. So I'm enjoying being a teacher. I'm enjoying guiding children towards a better future.
And if I may quickly add, I would like to agree with my colleagues that the role of a teacher is so vital. The Bible, I'm a religion teacher now. I used to be a science teacher, but in the religious
what a
aspect,
controversy there. But
yeah. Proverbs there tells us to train up a child in the way he must grow so that when he's older, he will not depart. We see a lot of people probably increasing academically, but if they don't increase with good morals, principles, values, we end up making educated criminals.
Ooh,
and that is where our job as we model life, as we model a Christ-like behavior, let's say, before them, so that when they grow, they to that knowledge, they add virtue, they add godliness, they add love. And that is what we seek to instill.
Yeah. Mr. Forrester, you've alluded to some of the answers that I'm trying to figure out from the question I'm going to ask you is, so in your years as educator, can you share with us what has been like a 1 or 2 memorable moments that validates as to why you are here as an educator?
Well, for me, there are so many, but I'll just put this one out there.
Yeah.
It's years, usually 2 to 3 years after they graduate from fourth form, since I'm a high school teacher. It's when they say, thank you. It's then, I don't know if it's then that the brain fully closes around age 25, or that they get the sense that what I was doing all along, I wasn't trying to get on their cases.
Exactly.
I was trying to teach them life.
Oh, yes.
And the gratitude that they would send in their letters, that would just make my whole day, my whole month.
Yeah.
Those are the moments.
Miss Jacqueline, I want to ask you, so of course we have our audience in Sunup on 7 ranges from 3, 4, 5 years up to senior
Very
citizens,
seasoned.
right? For folks that are thinking, trying to figure out what do they do with their career, what profession they venture in. Like Miss Patricia is saying, I love kids, I want to contribute to their development. What are some recommendations or personal experience that you can give to viewers that are thinking about being an educator themselves?
If you're inclined to be an educator, you first have to know that it's a commitment and it's a calling in many people's cases. Don't teach just because you need to earn a salary. I'm begging people who think that teaching is just a means for a salary to reconsider, in fact. If you're a teacher, I think you're born to be a teacher, and it comes with that caring, that love for children, for young people. It's that passion that first invited me to become a teacher. And you cannot just want to teach whatever academic material you have on your curriculum. It has to be that you are aware of the students in your classroom and you want to do good by them. So in the class, I had a principal once, an amazing principal by the name of Mr. Carlos Castillo. He was my first principal. And one day he went about the staff meeting and he asked, what subject do you teach? He asked, what do you teach? And the teachers are like math, science, English. And when everybody was done, he said, y'all failed this test.
Oof, wow.
I said, but what? I'm sure I teach history, sir. I answered the question correctly. And he said, no, you teach pupils. You teach human beings.
Oh.
The human factor is an important element in teaching because, like Mr. Forrester suggested, it's not only about the content, but it's about shaping these individuals for them to be successful in life. Some of them will need more guidance. Some of them will need a little less guidance because they're so independent and they're able to handle on their own. As a teacher, you need to have the sensitivity to recognize which students need more and which students need less.
That is
Brilliant.
so true.
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying that, Ms. Burns. I was actually talking to somebody, a parent, about that exact thing, that they felt that their teacher was not recognizing that their child needed that one-on-one experience a little bit more. And I think it's important that teachers have to map out, and that's another role of importance that they have to deal with. And in that same light, we have had one of the biggest thing where teachers were strained to, I don't even know how to explain how they were strained when it came to COVID, teaching online. I mean, from face-to-face to online. And we're going from just primary school to high school to tertiary. Every single one, I feel like there was a strain there because there's nothing to me that really beats that real face-to-face secondary socialization that children need from their teachers, that hands-on thing. And so could you tell any one of you, this is very open to either teacher, what do you think, how do you think the pandemic has actually affected teaching? And when it comes to you, what has been the challenges for you when you were going into a pandemic and now coming out of it slowly, because we're going back to that face-to-face, maybe 2 days, 3 days or so, depending on what your school is providing. But how has it really been when it comes to shaping those pupils, the challenges now that you're facing?
To use the 2 candles in your studio. Teachers are like candles who burn themselves out to light their environment and to light up other candles. Whatever lack of knowledge, darkness there could be, or even emotional situation. The pandemic was an amazing time for growth. It forced us to adapt. Teachers can be very, very resilient and very adaptive. And some of my colleagues, they crashed. It was too much. It was too much too fast. And so we had to learn to take break. I, in the classroom, do not sit. And here I am for the first time in my 31-year career having to practically chain myself to the chair because I'm antsy. I want to move. And I had to adapt. And like other teachers, developed back pain from sitting too long. I'm not used to sitting too long. And so I had to adapt by learning new yoga poses for my lower back. The eyes were affected. You had to learn not to have too much glare. But I think maybe I am speaking for my colleagues here and for other colleagues. It was just a massive, overwhelming phone calls, WhatsApp, messenger messages that we were getting at all hours. In fact, our school finally said, you know what, you have a right to have a cutoff point, and our school encouraged having a cutoff point. You decide what your cutoff point, but we're going to say that for our school, 6 p.m. should be cutoff point for any parent or student, because it was so overwhelming. We are in the information age, and there's messenger and WhatsApp and texts and calls. And like I started off by saying candles, some of us teachers were really burning ourselves out to be a light in that time of pandemic darkness. Yeah. And we had to learn to take better care of ourselves so that we could have greater longevity,
Yeah.
Let me stop now so that my colleagues may add.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Mr. Pulido. Is there anybody else that would like to contribute? How has your experience been like during COVID and now?
Or maybe off COVID now, because we're getting the babies back in classroom. We're getting the students back. And so that's been 2 years of a break where they really got that discipline of that teacher, that hands-on to that certain degree. So I know that
we are ready.
Easy part.
We are already back. We already started this week. We were very happy. And I think the students were very happy too. I mean, my goodness.
Yes.
It was good to have them back.
Yes.
Ms.
All of them.
Patricia, Mr. Forrester, would you have anything to contribute?
Yes, the challenges are are numerous. I don't want to be speaking too much negative vibes. Um, but even getting work, the missing work increased. I don't know,
Yes.
beyond, and to try to contact the parents, the students, to reach them to say, "Are you doing my missing work?" And Nazarene is a school that gives chances on top of chances, chance intervention on top of intervention, just as to leave no student behind. So it has really been where the students fail to do work, the teachers get much more work. So it's
Yes.
not double work. It created triple work
Wow.
at least. And but the positive thing now coming back is that being in person where we can actually see the body language of the students, we could actually see their faces
Right.
as they trickle in. Sometimes I'm like saying, okay, who are you? Because it's the first time I'm really seeing you. Because even though we tell them to turn on cameras, we can't force them to put on the camera because we're not literally beside them at home.
Right.
And their cameras don't always come on. But I'm just happier now to be able to interact with them and to look in their eyes and speak directly to them.
Yes.
Because there's something about looking directly into their eyes to like pull their spirits to pay attention, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I enjoy, and I'll leave the time to the other colleagues.
All right.
I would say that one of the challenge that hasn't been mentioned is for the teacher not inclined to being a technological buff, having to learn the technology while teaching.
Yes,
There
I
was
can imagine.
there was no time for the teacher to learn. The pandemic was here. We needed to be communicating with the students. What's the best way to do so?
Yeah.
And you needed to learn it pronto, immediately.
Yes.
And what I loved about the colleagues at my job is that everybody helped everybody. There were some teachers, the teachers who are more senior, some of them not even open-minded to learning technology. They were scared. And there was nobody there to tell the teacher, you will be okay. It was, you're thrown in the lion's den and you need to survive.
Wow.
And I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with those colleagues who started at the bottom and, eventually made it to the top. Thankfully for me, I had been in school. And so some of the technology was a part of my own learning.
Okay.
And so I was probably halfway there. I probably started at the middle and, eventually made it to where we are comfortable now giving these Moodle tests, having sharing documents, using some of the e-boards for these kids to write on and interact on. Using the features that will keep their attention, keep them coming to class, because remember, they're at home now.
Yeah.
And we need to get them to want to come to class when there's video gaming, there's chatting on WhatsApp and Facebook. We're literally competing. It's not like when they're coming physically to the campus and we have their undivided attention because they can't bring the gadgets to school. No. The
Definitely.
gadgets are at home with them.
Yes, so I commend the resilience, I commend the innovation that has come out of COVID. As we're wrapping up this conversation, I want to wish you all once more a happy Teachers Day. So as we go one-on-one, I want to invite you to wish your colleagues and big up your school, and because it's worth celebrating. Please, by all means, you can start with you, Ms. Jacqueline.
Okay, so I'm at Belmopan Comprehensive School. We have a staff of 59 teachers and administration of 3. And so I'd like to wish all those wonderful teachers, especially the Siberia gals, a very happy Teachers Day. And to my colleagues on here, happy Teachers Day. I love one of the 4 kids.
Awesome, thank you.
Mr. Kevin?
Yes, I'd like to say happy Teachers Day to all teachers, and I just want to big up Nazarene High School with Principal Dr. Seguro and Vice Principal Mr. O. And all the teachers, all the faculty, even the auxiliary staff, they're awesome. A wonderful place to be. A loving catering environment to the students. Continue to do what you do. Happy Teachers Day to everyone here.
Awesome.
Patricia?
I'd just like to say Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers out there, especially the hardworking teachers at Pope Creek Methodist School. This week, we just completed Education Week, and my teachers went above and beyond, and so they truly deserve this Teachers Day, as well as all the teachers out there. Happy Teachers Day to the teachers who are out here sharing with the world what it is to be a teacher and educator. It is an awesome profession, and I'm enjoying it. So Happy Teachers Day again to everyone.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And Mr. Emil?
Happy Healthy Teachers Day to all of our teachers in Belize, especially to the teachers of Our Lady of Guadalupe High School. We are a staff of 22, administration of 2, but we always do our best. I have never met such a hardworking group. My goodness. And since we are always teacher, always learning, please, if you're in the Belmopan area, join us in the Cancer Walk. Buses leave from 5:15 at the Civic Center. We will be marching for and against cancer in the memory of those who have lost the fight, in the memory of those who are in the struggle with cancer, and for those who will meet that beast of cancer. So you can join us tomorrow. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Channel
Thank you
7.
so much for this enjoyable conversation. It was a pleasure having this talk with you, getting to know more about what it takes to be a teacher. As we're wrapping up, this segment, I want to big up my infant one teacher, Teacher Pauline Luna in Orange Walk. I still remember you. You have a special place in my heart. Thank you so much. And she's from Orange Walk.
Kevin, why you did that? Because the thing is with me, what I have to say, I have been truly blessed. Like, all teachers from primary to high school to tertiary
But there had to be one that
I have
you.
to say, every single level I went in, I was beyond blessed that I had amazing teachers everywhere I go. And if I start listing, somebody I get vexed. Somebody I get vexed.
And then we will go
I
overtime
was
on
blessed.
the
There was
show.
always a teacher that like believed in me, pushed me. And that's why I say I love teachers so much, because without them motivating, seeing you through the pain or whatever it is you're going through, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. That's why I always big up teachers, because they really are the pillars of our country. And so to all you teachers too as well, Happy Teachers Day. You deserve the best. Thank you so much for putting your lives out there, putting your hearts out there, and creating a productive workplace, because without you, it would not be possible. So with that, we go to our next commercial break. And when we're back, we're going to be talking to Britney Star, and we're going to be getting a performance, guys. Friday vibes must continue. So stay tuned for that exciting song and demonstration. We'll be right back.